There are safety rules that no matter how you try to overlook them, no matter how you try to avoid them, you can't but just talk about them. The safety rules are not just health safety rules or safety rules that can protect you physically, but safety rules that go a long way in building a child's self-esteem, in building a child's personality positively, in helping a child become a healthy and a wholesome person. Part of the safety rules is what I'll be sharing with you today, and I'm so excited that you are part of this video. One of the exciting things about teaching children safety rules or making them become aware of safety measures is that it's going to help you as a parent to even protect those children when you are not physically present. Safety rules that will help them protect themselves from health hazards, and safety rules that will protect them from emotional, psychological, and other hazards that they might encounter in life as they're growing up. That is why today I'm going to be talking about safety rules for children between the ages of 4 and above. Hi, it is exciting to be back again on this channel. I want to say thank you very much to all our returning subscribers. You are the real deal. And to all of you that are just seeing this video for the first time, I'd like you to subscribe and become part of this family where we talk about childcare, education, and consulting, everything that surrounds the journey in childcare. We're going to be talking about safety rules that do not just focus on their health, but safety rules that cuts across their emotional well-being, psychological well-being, overall lifestyle as an individual. Safety rules that will impact their life even as they're growing up to becoming adults. So at this stage of their life, they're becoming aware of their environment. They can talk, they can speak, they can communicate. That is why you need to impact them with these safety rules that will help them as they're growing up, as they're interacting with the world out there. They need to know some safety rules that will not just protect them physically or protect their health, but safety rules that will protect their mind, protect their body, protect their future as they're growing up and interacting in the real world. The first safety rule I'm going to talk about, which is also a healthy safety rule, is ensure that in your environment or your surrounding, that spilled water is always cleaned. Just like you've observed, most times when cars break down on the road, there's this red triangle sign that whoever it is that has the car puts by the car along the road to ensure that people see a sign to know that something is ahead of them. Is either they slow down or they stop. So when you're in your surrounding, your school, in a class, in a space at home, and there's a spilled water, quickly ensure that it is dried immediately, because someone can slip and fall and bump their head, and it can even lead to death or concussion. So as much as possible, as little as spilling water is, can create a great damage. So around your vicinity, around your house, in the room, wherever you find yourself, if there is any need to spill water, there should be a sign to show that children should stop running, slow feet, slow steps, or you should walk, or you should be careful, or you should even stay away from that area until the water is dried, until the area is dry enough for anyone to walk past, or until the area is safe for children to walk past. The second safety rule I'll be sharing with you today is tag play equipment. Every play equipment, either in school or at home, where you know that it can contain more than 3 children, should be tagged. The tag should indicate the number of children that can play with that equipment per time. This is to avoid overcrowding in such play equipment. And when children are overcrowded in a particular play equipment, there could be accidents, there could be injury, people could bump their heads, they can bite each other. Someone can even suffocate in such a play equipment, or the play equipment might break down and can cause injury. For instance, you have a trampoline. In a trampoline, you should have children, depending on their age bracket, you should know the number of children that can play on that trampoline per time, so that you don't have the trampoline overcrowded. If the trampoline is overcrowded, it can break and children can hurt themselves, or children can be in that trampoline and while they are bouncing, they can hurt themselves, they can bump their head. Play equipment in school that children love, maybe you notice a play equipment that children love to engage with, ensure that it is tagged. This tag, 4 can play, 2 can play, 3 can play, to ensure that the minimum number of children that can play per time with that equipment are the people that are there for that period of time. They can take turns. This is to prevent unnecessary hazards, unnecessary accidents while activity or while play is going on. The first safety rule is discourage any kind of dangerous rough play. Remember, we mentioned rough and tumble. Rough and tumble is a safe rough play that children can engage in as long as they are engaging in that play with an adult, a familiar adult. But as much as possible, while children are engaging in play, let them know that some kind of rough play are not encouraged. Plays that can be buffoonery, tomfoolery, shenanigans, romping, horseplay, dangerous rough plays that can inflict injury or that can cause harm to the children, either playing with sharp objects or trying to play rough play with different objects that they are not familiar with. Those kind of plays can endanger the child. Encourage children to play safe and not with objects or materials that they are not used to or they are not trained to use. Discourage any form of rough play, no matter what it is called. The first safety rule is encourage empathy while you discourage bullying. Empathy is a learned behavior. So as a teacher, as a parent, as a school, there should be values or assembly days where values are taught to the children. Empathy should be one of the values that work hand in hand with the negative called bullying. If children are taught how to be empathetic with themselves, with their friends, with their colleagues, with their peers, they would have that mindset of looking out for each other, of looking out for themselves. They would know when someone is crossing the line with them and when they are crossing the line with someone. So that when someone is crossing the line with them and it becomes bully, it has transited from play to bully, they can report or they can stop it. So encourage children to know when to stop while they are playing with children, whether in the use of the words or in trying to protect their boundaries. What kind of words are they using for themselves, for their peers, to ensure that they are not posing a threat or they are not attracting threats to themselves, unnecessary threats to themselves. We say it's better for you as a teacher to teach by showing children how to be empathetic with themselves. They can learn that behavior in class by sharing, by saying kind words to each other, by learning how to apologize. When you're teaching such behavior, empathy, you can even introduce the 5 magic words. Learn how to say please, learn how to say thank you when a kind gesture is being offered to you, learn how to say I'm sorry when you have offended. These are learned behaviors that can protect your child from unnecessary harm, unnecessary hazard, unnecessary attack from either their peers or all the peers. Empathy is a learned behavior that is a safety rule that you can use to shield your children, shield the people around you from expressing or from being domineering, unnecessarily bullies. The earlier you start teaching children how to show empathy, understanding that they don't have to bully anyone, the word bully disappears in the world of empathy. This leads me to the 5th safety rule, which is teach children simple safety measures. Just like I'm educating parents around the world today, educating teachers, educating schools today, you should teach children simple safety measures so that they become aware. They know that this is what should be done, this is what should be avoided. That leads me to the 6th safety rule, which is ensure that before children engage in outdoor activities like cycling, biking, skating, they are well kitted by safety materials. For instance, if a child is going on skating or skiing, or a child is going on cycling, the child should wear their helmets. The child should wear something that will protect their knee, protect their elbow, so that when they encounter accidents or minor injuries, their joints or the major parts of their body is not gravely damaged. So please, as much as possible, remind children to wear their kits, put on their safety kits before going outdoor to engage in some kind of activity. This is really necessary. This leads me to the 7th safety rule, which I'm excited to share with you, is control technology access. Technology access, I mean internet access and technology devices. The access of technology in the world we're living in now is inevitable. So for parents, for teachers, for schools, how do you protect children or how do you control their use of technology? Now, there are apps that you can use for children for different age bands. The best bet is to make sure that you control their access to these devices. The hours they spend, make sure it is limited within the time frame that you have set. So there are apps, safe apps that children can use to learn. These apps contain educational resources that aid learning, simple games that can be fun to watch, simple games they can interact with. We all know that even in schools, children have access to internet, they have access to tablets, they have access to laptops, they have access to computers. While that is very important and very vital, control is where you as a parent, you as a teacher comes in, helping those children safeguard themselves from the danger of being exposed to wrong materials or harmful materials that can impact them negatively on the internet or while using these devices. What I mean is, there are different apps that you can use to make sure that your children have unlimited access to educational resources or fun resources that can help them as they're learning. These apps are such that you can set them within the time frame that you want as a teacher, and also limit what they have access to on the internet. And I'm mentioning just 3 apps. We have the Family Link on Play Store, we have the YouTube Kids, we have the PBS Kids. These are different apps that you can use or you can allow your children have access to. There are all the 1001 apps that children can use, children within the age of 4 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and above. These apps help children to be able to learn. Because we live in a global world, you can't take away technology from children. In fact, technology facilitates their learning. Technology helps you teach them in 21st century way. So I would encourage you as a parent, find out how you can look into these applications. Make sure that these tablets and these iPads that they're using are set in such a way that they have limited time or healthy time for them to have access to these resources, so they don't go way beyond what they can contain or what their mind can contain, which will lead to a negative impact of this technology. It is an important safety rule in the time that we're living in. The next safety rule I'm going to be mentioning looks simple, however, very vital. Teach children their names, their full names, their age, their address. Children at this stage, especially from when they become 4, they have started speaking and talking, they know their full names, they know their parents' name, they know how old they are, they know where they are from, they know their address. This information is very necessary for your children to have them handy, just in case they are in an emergency situation and they need to contact their parents or they need someone to take them back to their houses. It's a very major safety rule that you cannot overlook. Next safety rule I'm going to be sharing with you is ensure that you teach children that their body belongs to them and them alone. You tell them your body belongs to you and you alone, not to your teacher, not to your daddy, not to your mommy, not to your brother, not to your sister, not to a stranger, not to a friend. This will give the child an awareness to take charge and protect themselves, to give them a sense of belonging, a sense of protection, so that when there is any form of discrepancy or something that they do not understand that is going on with them, they can raise an alarm. Or when someone is trying to invade their private space, either trying to abuse them or trying to touch their body in a way they're not supposed to do, they can raise alarm. But when they are not aware that this body belongs to them alone, they feel okay, anybody can have access to it, then they are not safe. A very major safety rule that will help your child while they are growing up and interacting with the real world. This leads me to the next safety rule, which is no adult should ask you to keep secrets. Because the mind of children are very innocent and they are still tender and they are still developing, they tend to want to please, they tend to be good followers. And for predators, adult predators, or the wrong people that might want to take advantage of this, it is best to keep your child on guard to ensure that no one tries to manipulate them or corner them into keeping secrets or teaching them how to keep secrets. So ensure that your children know that there are no secrets. No adult should ask you to keep secrets, either from your parents or your teacher, Why? So that when a child is encountering danger, or a child is in a state of danger, or a child is being abused, the child is confident enough to open up. The child is confident enough to share whatever it is that might be a fear or something that they're experiencing that they're not comfortable with. And as much as possible, protect the confidentiality of your child when your child has explained or spoken to you about something. Teach children to be confident in themselves so that when they have things that they need to share or things that they feel, this is not a comfortable situation, I don't think I'm comfortable with this, and they need to share with you, you have already created that space where they can feel safe and they can share whatever it is with you. The next safety rule I'm going to be sharing is never go anywhere with a stranger. From the time the children has turned 4 and they can speak, they are aware of themselves, encourage them to always stay where you keep them. They should not move an inch with a stranger. You don't leave your compound without talking to your parents, talking to your mom, or talking to your dad. You don't go with a stranger. You don't collect food from a stranger and put in your mouth. You don't even talk to a stranger. So this is a major safety rule that children should learn from that early stage as you're growing up. This leads me to the last safety rule that I'll be sharing with you. Teach your children to believe and trust in their guts. This especially goes for older children that are in their teens or preteen. Your guts can also be called your instincts. Some people will call it gut instincts. Instincts are that feeling of something might be off or not being sure of someone. Something doesn't just sit right with someone. So always teach your children, let them be aware and pay attention to their instincts. Gut instincts or instinct can also be explained as signals that you get when things are not sitting right with a person or with an environment. Guts or your instincts are inbuilt. It comes with humans. It helps them to safeguard themselves from the wrong people, from the wrong environments, from making avoidable mistakes. How do they know you're not comfortable? You start having this feeling of fear mixed with anxiety. Pay attention. Teach your children to pay attention to such feeling. So it's either they move away from that environment or they avoid such person until they are able to double check what exactly is going on, and also reinforce the need to double check whatever instincts or whatever feeling their gut instincts is sending to them. Trust your guts. When a stranger is talking to you, you don't reply, or you reply politely and you walk away. You don't follow a stranger to anywhere. You don't leave your house without contacting or getting consent from your parents. You don't share your personal information on the net, online, with people that you don't know. You don't expose your passwords in the public. These safety rules will protect your child. You see that most of the safety rules are not just health safety rules. They are safety rules that cuts across the overall well-being of a child and will impact their emotional well-being, their personal well-being, their psychological well-being, and their personality and their individuality as they are interacting with the real world and as they are growing. And I'm sure you have so much to share with me in the comment section. I am so glad that we are on this journey of safety, and I want to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.